I roll and rock, rock and roll. I roll and rock, rock and roll. I roll and rock and roll. Kicking up in a brainstorm. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Apex Investor, our daily update. Let's get on with it. Okay, today's volume king is EFIR with over 3.6 billion volume. Today's value pick is ENVB. They're a biotechnology company. They do cancer treatments using cannabinoid, so marijuana medicine or medicinal marijuana. And looking at their fundamentals here, their market cap is 67 million, so it's not that great. I would be cautious with this one. Their institutional ownership is 0.2. That's also not very good. However, the 52-week range was $236 to $21, and their volume was 15 million. The RSI is 46, so it's kind of in between. It's not oversold, not overbought either. It's leaning more towards it's right in between, really. So this stock closed at 348. Personally, I wouldn't buy this until it drops at $3 or lower. But if you decide to buy it, 348, this will most likely go to at least $5, maybe even $7 again. But I would be very cautious with this stock. Again, it's right in between. And the RSI, it's not oversold or overbought. It's kind of neutral. The institutional ownership indicates that big money is not here. So it's mostly retail investors is what it looks like. And judging by the recent activity just in the last 48 hours, we can see that it was at $3 and below. It went all the way up to $7, and then it was pumped and dumped all the way back down the very same day, or the next day, I should say, to $3.50, 40 cents. And that's why we see that happening. So that's all for this one. Just keep an eye on this one in the future. I think when it drops below $3, it's a better pick. But again, proceed with caution. I'm not a financial advisor or expert, so I'm not liable for any decisions you make. Just sharing my opinion. Okay, moving on to the meme stocks. Okay, so the meme stocks, SLGG, Super League Gaming, was up 23%. Next is Canaan. They are the Bitcoin mining company. They create machines that mine Bitcoin. They're up 30% today. So that was a good buy. And now it's saying goodbye. All right. Moving on, we have, who do we see here that is making some gains? Oh, here we are. Gamestop. Let's start with AMC first. AMC saw 82 million volume today. It was up 4%. I think it opened almost at 11 today, but then it dropped and then went back up. It was below $10 at one point. GameStop is down 1%. So due to the SSR, it was pretty stable. It was just trading sideways, which is an indicator that all the buyers were just holding and no one was selling. So that's what was happening. So let me just take a look at the aftermarket activity with these two. So AMC is a little bit down, 1021 after hours, and that's completed. And GameStop as well is a little bit down, only 45 cents, but very minuscule drops. Okay, I think that's all for the meme stonks. So relatively uneventful day for both, but it's good. It's a good thing. That means there's stability, and it's only going to go up from here until next Friday. Okay, moving on to Reddit now. Okay, so before I move on to Reddit, I just wanted to mention that these two charts, although look identical in many ways, they follow a similar pattern. The stark difference is that GameStop is enjoying higher highs. Look at that peak compared to here. It's not really peaking there. It should follow it to a T. And then the steep drop, and yeah, it had a steep drop, but then when it recovered, you're seeing really high spikes here. Whereas here, it's kind of they're lower highs. So that just supports my argument from my previous video where I pit AMC and GameStop against each other to see, okay, which stock should I go all in on? And that would be GameStop because again, you're going to make at least double or 10 times as much what AMC would make, although AMC is still a good stock. Okay, so we're moving on. Okay, so there was a post saying that as soon as the stimulus checks arrive to Americans, and this could happen as soon as this weekend. Yeah, this weekend, uh, we could see a great inpouring of buys for GME and AMC as soon as well next week. So it's really looking like a perfect storm with the quadruple witching hour, with the stimulus checks, and just all the all everything happening is becoming a perfect storm. So that's all I have to say for that. Okay, we also have earnings reports coming on March the 23rd. Uh, we've had such a drought of news with when it comes to GameStop. So anything, even bad news, will be good if it makes any sense. Any news at all would drive the price and just move it, get it moving. We have a mini DFV. Spearmint has not 100,000 like DFV, but 20,000 shares, and he's back over $5 million. So that's a great story. Yeah, like I said, there's going to be a lot of people dumping 1,400 into GME once they get their stimulus checks, and we'll see that as soon as Monday. At the beginning of the week next week, because Friday is going to lead up to that huge event, the quadruple witching hour. Okay. There's a tweet here by Will Mead. It says that almost 27,000 GameStop March 12th $800 calls have traded today for 65 cents. This contract expires tomorrow at the close and needs GameStop to triple in one day tomorrow. It's also by far the highest volume strike in GameStop today. That's going to be interesting if it goes to 800. Man, imagine that. Credit where credit is due. Yahoo Finance reported that the short squeeze will continue. I read the article, and it's one of the few from mainstream outlet that is actually reporting some facts. So, respect to Yahoo Finance for doing that. I'm going to read part of that article here. It says that short sellers were down 1.36 billion just on Monday and Tuesday this week, and they were down another 202 million on Wednesday. So all in, GameStop shorts have now lost 6.8 billion year to date, according to this person there. Could be more than that, but thanks to Yahoo again for that. We have got to read this cartoon. It says here, time to go back in time and buy the dip again. So there's a meme. We did it. We time traveled. Time to buy the dip. Did we make it in time? Let me ask that guy over there. Hey, has the dip from 350 to 198 happened yet? It's in 15 minutes. That was Market Watch. Okay, moving on. Okay, this post mentions that today was a flat day intentionally to make shorts bleed the rest of their shares. So think of it as a zergling rush where you see institutional investors are bleeding. They're bleeding dry the short sellers of their reserve shares so that tomorrow the short sellers will have a reduced ability to stop the rally. So again, think of it as a zergling rush before you storm the base. So it's just to weaken their defenses. So what's going to happen tomorrow? I think the same institution that got GameSpot onto the GameStop onto the SSR list today will try to do it again. They will get the stock down in pre-market again and very quickly hit the 10% SSR. This would mean 3 full days of no shorting. If this happens, it could be another slow day of letting the shorts bleed the rest of their reserve stock, with probably the first push in the last hour or two to get as many of the options in the money before the market closes. TLDR. So today was intentionally a flat day to make short sellers bleed their reserve stock so they have less when the real gamma squeeze happens in the next day or two. Strap in for the ride, and it could happen next week as well. All right, this is from a post titled Melvin is literally begging us to stop. Okay, so it says here, you have, the title says, please stop. What you are doing is wrong. You have no idea what it is you are doing, what you are all setting in motion. My husband has been working at one of the affected investment funds for years, hedge funds, and I've never in my life seen him be as stressed as he has been for the past weeks. I have multiple children, and there are many people who rely on our family in their day to day life. Please do not continue with your hoarding and manipulation. So don't hold, basically, she's saying. You're going to ruin so many families and communities by playing this little game. I beg you, please stop. We are not the bad guys in this situation. We have earned our wealth by working harder and smarter our entire lives. It is not our fault that the system is set up the way it is. They had a choice. Everyone has a choice. It is not fair that you take your anger and frustration out on us. If you're unhappy with your life, you can fix it. There are so many opportunities out there for you to better your lives. So she's basically saying, "Oh, let my husband manipulate the market and put businesses, make them go bankrupt and put people out of work." Okay, for the last 30 years, you've been cheating the system, and just because we're trying to write it doesn't mean we're going to quit. We're just going to keep doing what's right. Honest ways to make a living, but you have to work for it. You have to earn it. And hedge funds are earning it? No, I don't think they are. Our future should not be ruined just because you are all too lazy to look in the mirror and realize that all starts with you. You have the power to change your life. It is not anyone else's responsibility. You have to do it fairly so you can earn it properly. Stealing from others, excuse me, we're stealing? No, we're not stealing. We're doing what's right. We're giving money back. They've been the ones stealing for so long. Stealing from others who have already earned it is not. Please reconsider your actions and how you are affecting others. Think about all the children of families who will suffer for this and what they will have to go through. Well, maybe they just should have chosen a better path and not short companies to oblivion. This is not our fault. It is especially not the fault of our children. What you are doing will hurt innocence. What you're doing is wrong. Okay, well, that's just a big joke. Okay, breaking news. We have a potential emergency situation. This was from 7 hours ago. Please spread. The following message came in on a Discord. Extremely important at everyone. I've been made aware of some really shady s going on, and as usual, it's our duty to try and protect the apes. As of about 10 minutes ago, I pulled our live chat down on the subreddit. It's being spammed with all sorts of content that is in serious violation of Reddit's rules: extreme racism, LGBTQ hate, gore mentions, etc. I'm hearing whispers from other subs and content creators that there is malicious actions and actors being taken against both the AMC and Gamestop communities, and it looks to be coordinated. We were hit at the same time as other subreddits, and they started reporting it. This is in addition to multiple reports now of people impersonating influencers such as Trace Trades or Matt Kors and saying to convince apes to sell or spend money elsewhere. Yeah, I've seen that on Trace channel. There's this people or person trying to uh, impersonate him and just saying all the wrong things. Please stay safe. Double check anything you hear and do not believe it blindly. Our mod team are all unpaid volunteers from our founder, Sagan, all the way down to the Discord moderators. We will never advocate you do or don't do something, nor will we ask you for money. If we ask for donations for something like Discord bot costs, will be announced here and not on DMs. Thank you. Stay safe. I'll provide updates. Okay. I think that's it for that. So, yeah, we definitely are being brigaded and infiltrated. Uh, they're trying to get us shut down and to make us look like we're the bad guys, and we're just regular people, just who like the stock. That's it. End of story. Okay. Anyone else feel like this is the final calm before the storm? SSR triggered for March 12th, metric ton of calls between $300 to $400 expiring on March the 12th and next Friday, the 19th. Market volatility and volume extremely low today. And yeah, that's it. So yeah, this is definitely the calm before the storm. I agree with that sentiment. Here's a tweet that reads: the richest 0.1% own 17% of the stocks. The richest 1% own 50% of stocks, and the bottom 50 own 0.7 of stocks. And say it with me: the stock market is not the economy. I have to respond and say, well, you know what? The middle class, or the rest of the 99%, yeah, we own a small percentage, but how much percent is that of the meme stocks? Probably is a large portion. Okay, I'm going to end it with two more posts. Final post of the day on DD Post, a response to Hey It's Pixel and correction of some incorrect information. So this is the conclusion from Pixel's post today. Gamma goes burr today or tomorrow. Long whales prepped the SSR for today and stocked up on a lot more options in the meantime to make sure this will be an actual gamma squeeze no one has seen before. Citadel is not allowed to short on downticks today. So what is going to happen today? I think we open below 238.50 SSR trigger or drop to 238.50 intraday in order to trigger the SSR for tomorrow as well. And that happened. If we drop to that price mark and the price bounces back immediately with almost the same volume, that's how you know it was done on purpose. But even if the SSR doesn't get triggered for tomorrow, we're ready for liftoff. So it was triggered. Does that mean the gamma squeeze will happen today? Likely, but not certain, and it didn't happen. As soon as the SSR triggers active for tomorrow, they have time until tomorrow, end of day, to make sure this thing takes off. If it doesn't drop to 238.50 today, I think the gamma squeeze will start by end of day at last. So today's low was 232. It was triggered, the SSR, obviously. Just to do my diligence there. This conclusion posits three possible immediate futures. Gamma squeeze today, likelihood, likely but not certain. Reality might have been likely, certainly wasn't certain. This didn't happen today. So if not, then once we hit the SSR list again, then gamma squeeze by tomorrow. Likelihood unknown. Reality, we're going to have to see it. Okay, if we don't hit the SSR limit for tomorrow, oh, we did. Okay. It makes it sound less certain, though. One of these three realities has collapsed. The second two require a gamma squeeze to happen tomorrow, not March 19th, not April the 16th, tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I do agree with that. It doesn't have to happen tomorrow. I think it's just people setting dates, and you know what? Could be a mistake to do that. I think it is a mistake to set dates, but we can be hopeful. There's nothing wrong with being hopeful. Hype posts that misrepresent facts are dangerous. They don't have to say buy right now, but they have to be intentionally malevolent to cause harm. Okay, people expect accuracy and honesty. They don't. They deserve that. You deserve that. Okay. If it doesn't, it will matter. If it doesn't go up. Ultra too long didn't read. Read DD closely. I think it's deep dive. I don't know if it stands for deep dive or due diligence, but that's the way I've been reading it. Due diligence. Closely. Don't assume facts and figures are correct. Pixel's post today and yesterday's mistake options volume for open interest multiple times, and essentially all of his OI figures are incorrect. Okay. All right. So I don't know what he's saying here. Just what's he saying? I like GME. Okay. There's a lot of retail and institutional interest in this stock. And that interest exists after the big rise and fall of January. That leads me to believe the longs are resilient. They won't settle for just big gains. They want blood. Yesterday's drop and rebound lends more credence to that idea. The high open interest in on the money or out of money calls lends credence to that idea. There's a lot of money at stake. In the stock, I think it can go higher than 200s. It's been bouncing around today. Yeah, it'll go to 1,000. That's pretty much 99.9%. We just don't know when. Just have to keep holding and watching. A huge well of positive news potentially breaking in the near future. Cohen, CEO, fourth quarter earnings, DTCC rule changes, DFE YOLO posts. I do not like putting numbers on guesses because it implies a level of certainty that doesn't exist outside my own brain. Telling you I think GME has, in my opinion, 55% chance to hit 400 by end of day tomorrow doesn't provide any insight beyond you knowing a bit more about how my brain is broken, being able to see if I'm right or wrong tomorrow. It also oversells the upside. Even if I'm right, there's a huge 45% chance it goes down. And the downside could be anywhere potentially. Are you ready to watch your shares drop again? Uh, what if they drop to 100? Are you really going to hold? Or is that loss going to make you puke and paper hands? Are you certain the decisions you make will be based on your own personal assessment? You have to be honest about these possibilities. If GameStop is going to the moon no matter what, then screw me, right? Who cares? And I told you to be careful. I'm not your dad, and you can safely ignore me. GameStop is not going anywhere. Oh, if it's going anywhere, then please be careful. Please risk Vegas money, not YOLO money. I don't know. A lot of people are doing this. So original comment text on Pixel's post today. He made improvements in transparency in his today his post. If I'm correct, they will definitely do it today as well. Okay. All right. What is he? Is he trying to? What's he doing to discredit Pixel? I don't know. There's no public database which shows at what time specific options were bought and sold. Open interest represents the latest figures as of yesterday's close, not an hour by hour breakdown. Volume is an aggregate of buys and sells and includes some new writes, some closures, and some trades. And then he says, there was indeed an increase in OI today. Its magnitude is overstated both in yesterday's post and today's due to confusion of volume with OI. Options, what's that, interest? I'm not sure what that stands for. Open interest, okay. Today's post looks at 300, 400, and 800 strikes, 20,000 increase. Fails to analyze other strikes before coming up with the 40 to 60,000 figure. 800 strikes, $800 strikes are as likely to be YOLO gambles as a concerted effort to gamma squeeze. $800 strikes did not figure into yesterday's DD at all, which means they were not important yesterday, even though they have had over 20,000 open interest for weeks now. So the figures used throughout the post flip between generic and specific, and this makes it difficult to interrogate what is fact and what is conjecture. I do not believe the upper range. Okay, there's a bunch of. I don't really get the point of this. It just sounds like he's dooming, to be honest. I could go on, but this is getting tiresome and too long, so here's the TLDR. You and other smart people need to stop doing this, poop. You need to be more sober in your analysis and be more frank and clear in your presentation of data and your conclusions. If you want to be seen as someone with insight, you need to say, I think ABC will happen because of the following factors. It's possible that doesn't happen. If it doesn't, it will likely because of X, Y, or Z that I identify below. This is an unprecedented situation. And while some predictions can be accurate, we won't know exactly what will happen and exactly when it will happen until it does. So thank you for the counter, DD. Opinions and fact checking are always appreciated. There needs to be checks and balances to the most popular DDs on here so that those uninitiated with investing can at least have a glimpse to both sides of the coin, whether you're right or Pixel is right, or whether you are both high off of crayon. The research into the intricacies of this phenomenon only bolsters our resolve. With that being said, diamond hands to the moon. And okay, let me just pause. Okay, so in regards to that last post on Reddit, GME, we saw two different perspectives. One from you, hates Pixel, and then the other from that other person. And I was watching a podcast or a video from a popular YouTuber, and they were talking about GameStop, actually AMC mostly, and they said we have to be positive. And the answer is no. You don't have to be positive. You have to be realistic. You should present reality, and don't just be positive just for the sake of being positive. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad to be positive. It is good and hopeful, to give other people hope, but don't give them false hope. So when I talk about GameStop and AMC, I'd rather lean towards the realistic scenario. For example, when they say things like, oh, 500K is the bottom and a million's the bottom and 1.5 million is the bottom, you have to temper that with reality, with a dose of reality, and say, do you remember what the shorts did when it went up to 483? How they halted trading multiple times? They restricted buying uh, from Robinhood. They got the government to step in, and that's only at 483. So you really think it's going to go to a million? Do you think they're just going to let that happen? That's why I say no. I don't think it's happening. It's not going to a million. It's not going to 500,000. It might go to 100,000, maybe. I don't know. There's a possibility, a very slim possibility, to 100,000. I'm going to say again, it's either 10% or 50%, but I mean, we'll see. 50,000, that's a little more likely. 10,000 is way more likely. It's at least 50%. And then 5,000, probably, 70 to 90%. And then 1,000 is 99%. I've been saying that's very realistic because that's where it was going originally back in January. But the way things are going now with the SSR, with all the, it seems like whales are loading up. A lot of options are expiring. Uh, I think it's more important I'm not going to be hopeful just for the sake of being hopeful and just, make up false claims, but I'm going to present reality as I understand it from my understanding of all the facts and what has happened in the past, what's happening now, and what could possibly happen in the future based on those facts. So, in my heart of hearts, uh, AMC, I'm going to forecast now, so I have to be careful. Realistically, it is going back to $20. Realistically, it will. I'm not going to guarantee it, but it's a 99% chance it's going to $20 again. To go to 30, that's also high. 40, yeah, I could very well go there, but I don't see it going maybe 50 at the highest. Maybe at the highest. It won't go past 50 in my mind. Uh, just being honest, being realistic with people who have AMC, people who have GameStop, holding GameStop. Um, like I said, I just said it, 1,000. It's going to go smash 500. I don't know when. It could happen next week. It could happen next month. We really don't know when. So it's a mistake to set dates. However, looking at, you know, quadruple witching hour, which takes place on the third Friday of every third quarter, on the third hour of all things, it's looking like it's going to be volatile, and it could go up, could go down, but volatility helps stocks to greater heights. So our part in all of this is simply to buy the stock and hold it. Now, I've said it in the past, don't just buy it at whatever price. That's stupid. Don't do that. Buy the dips. GameStop, it looks like, looking at the chart, I don't have it in front of me right now, but if we could go to that, let's go take a look. Okay, so as you can see in this chart, I've set points of support and resistance for GameStop. You can count on the stock seeing a huge bounce off 180 levels and lower. So if you put a buy order for 180 or even 190, anything below 200, you can see the bounce back. The more that it bounces, the higher that it bounces, that's where, it's support. And you also see the volume just comes in. That's where all the buyers are at these price points, or most of them at least. You also have a lot here at this level. But that, I mean, that's long gone now, but it could very well happen again. That's the level just at 50, $60 and below. So $60 and below is a massive level of support. So that's the true support. I mean, down here. But in the meantime, before the squeeze, the short squeeze, we're looking at levels of 200 and less for our temporary support, I suppose you could say, to pick up more shares. And if you do plan to sell, I mean, it's up to you what you plan to do. We do say to hold because it's going to help the short squeeze to be even bigger, and that's true. But should you decide to sell, I mean, the resistance is looking like it's at 347, 348, but in the high 340s. But why would you do that when it's going to go, to the moon basically? So you're only shorting yourself. You're selling yourself short, no pun intended. So you want to buy at that level. Don't just buy it. Okay, let me just buy when it's all crazy. Don't do that. Don't be stupid. Don't just go with emotion and FOMO. You know, uh, you can sell if you like. It's up to you, but just know that you're going to miss out when it goes to 1,000, when it goes to 500 and above, because that's going to happen. It's very, very the chances of that, like I said, is 99.9% of going back to 400, 500, and eventually to 1,000. That's very high if all things turn out the way they're supposed to, or not supposed to, but uh, if everything works out according to the plan. And again, it's up to you what you do, but this is the level of support, temporary support for now. And I suppose, into the long term, we're looking at, super low levels. You're going to look way back, like under 20, I suppose. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with this. I'm just saying that next week, the quadruple witching hour is going to be like the Super Bowl for a lot of day traders and long term investors. Anyone who's excited in GameStop and AMC, they're going to want to look forward to Friday. Prepare for it. Prepare to buy. Prepare to sell. There's a lot that's going to happen next Friday, and even tomorrow there'll be something's happening. We'll just sit back and watch and just enjoy watching and holding and whatever you like to do. It's up to you. But like I said, this is the level of support. This is the level you want to buy at. Anything under 200. But just to be safe, I'd say 190, 180. And if you do plan to sell, it's up to you. Because I know some people did buy, such as myself. I bought like pretty high at 290 and over 300. So if you do want to sell at that level, just so you can uh, be more secure, and then you wait for the drop and buy 190, it's up to you as well. I mean, you can decide what you want to do. It's your choice. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for your time. We'll check in with you tomorrow after the market closes. This is Apex Investor signing out. Oh, I forgot to say, please like, please subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. This lets YouTube know that you value this content, and other people will be able to see it as well, so they can make an informed decision. They can also look at the real news going on behind the scenes when it comes to Reddit, and real people sharing their opinions, their knowledge, their due diligence, and everything from straight from the horse's mouth, from WallStreetBets and those involved in this revolution, the GameStop in particular, because we have a information, I'm going to say it, an information war. That's what's happening, where you have the mainstream outlets bashing us, bashing GameStop, and predicting drops of stock prices well in advance. Whereas us, we're mostly, just minding our own business. We like the stock, nothing more to it, and we do what we want. Nobody tells anyone what to do. We just share opinions, and people are free to decide what they want to do with that. And we're not financial investors, experts, or advisors. We're just regular people who take our stimulus checks and we put it towards the stock market, and we just cross our fingers and pray to God that it goes up. So that's all I have for you today. God bless you, and God bless your investments. Apex Investor signing out for real this time.